Earth. It's here. Everyone can see that. But what did God mean for us to do with it? Just keep our hands off? Leave God's perfect creation alone? Or is it possible God intends for us to remodel what He made? It's nothing new for Christians to disagree. But sometimes we argue because we don't understand each other. One of those arguments has to do with whether God made us humans to be co-creators with Him. I recently found these words in a website. We are not co-creators with God because we're not on His level. Now, of course, those who think we are co-creators with God are not saying that we are on the same level with Him. In another website, someone writes, "We are not co-creators with God, and when He creates something, He does not leave it unfinished." Genesis 1:31. Then God saw everything that He had made, and indeed it was very good. This raises an important question. After God created the earth and the plants, the animals, and the people, and said it was very good, what exactly did He mean? Was He saying conditions on earth were so perfect that nothing more needed to be done? Let's say you take a photograph of a beautiful flower. You mount it in a frame, hang it on the wall, and then you stand back and say, that's very good. Now, suppose someone else comes along and adds a frowny face. Then, while you're away, your 3-year-old adds her own contribution in the lower right corner with some crayons. Would you still look at your picture and call it very good? The earth no longer looks just like it did when God created it. We human beings have made our own marks on the original masterpiece. Do dams desecrate the just right rivers? Are bridges a blot on God's flawless creation? And do cities corrupt the otherwise unspoiled landscape of God's original masterpiece? When God called everything very good, did He mean it's all done, or finished, or all completed? At the end of the 6th day of creation, was the earth exactly as God always wanted it to remain? Well, to answer that, let's ask a question about a completely unrelated subject: Lego blocks. At a Lego manufacturing plant, plastic pieces come off the production line and end up in a colorful box. Now, suppose some Lego executives pick up the box full of blocks, smile approvingly, and say, "Very good." What do they mean by very good? Do they mean that the box full of perfect pieces should remain unopened and sit on a shelf forever? Do they mean those perfect blocks should not be touched by human hands? Of course not. Instead, their very good means that the blocks are perfectly suited for the purposes for which they were made for, to be unpacked and rearranged into all kinds of projects. The very goodness of Lego blocks allows them to be put together in many creative ways. Every project is made of nothing but Lego pieces, but each project is unique. The variety of possibilities is endless. In a similar way, when God finished creating the earth and pronounced it very good, He was saying it was perfectly packed with all the potential it needed. It had everything it required to fulfill the purposes He had in mind for it. God made trees for their beauty, but He also made them to provide building materials so that we could make things like houses, picnic tables, and campfires. God made animals not only for His own and our enjoyment, but He also made them for human use. He Himself made Adam and Eve garments from animal skins. Paul made tents from animal skins, and Jesus ate fish. So, are we co-creators with God? Does such language put us on the same level with God? Twice, Paul spoke of himself and others as God's fellow workers. He used a Greek word that means to engage in an activity together with someone else. To say that we are co-creators does not mean that we have the same creative power as God. He creates from scratch, we create from stuff. He creates from nothing. We create only by using what He has created for us to use.